stalking. All right, and has been doing so all morning, as I documented at 4 o'clock in the morning. The entity is engaged in ongoing amplification of helicopter activity, repeatedly flying in circles, as you saw at 6 in the evening while there's an alleged sunset. This is the same living room window where I'm showing you on many of occasions over a series of months the sunrise. Okay, that's not the natural environment. Covering up the light source, and then the light source unveiling at the second half of the day at 12 o'clock, like you saw yesterday, at 11:52 in the morning yesterday, approximately 12:25 in the afternoon. The day before that is the same exact specific environment. It is also recognized as the specific environment while these corrupt law enforcement agencies, this one is under the watch of the corrupt tutelage of Dominic Choi, engaging in the state's criminal pattern of conduct. This is indeed the specific environment, and this is criminal monitoring. Engineered light remains inside of my apartment in addition to what is the specific environment that's not the natural environment where the people of the state are group stalking with that corrupt law enforcement agency. It is currently 7:24 in the morning. I have video documentation that's already establishing the specific environment. There will never be a sunrise at the hillside in alignment to me, which is called stalking with light. This light is maintained in alignment to me in the morning, remains at the property and engaging in what is a sunset, just like you saw yesterday evening. That's the pattern of conduct. The entity is engaging in what is a pattern of covering up a light source. It's not even the natural environment. So in the same way you're witnessing the demonic with regard to a sunrise and a sunset while I'm at one address, you're witnessing the demonic while the light source is covered up, and then it's unveiled directly above my head at any point in the day, which is equally the impossible and scientifically impossible environment, the specific environment, not the natural environment. Covering up the light source and still stalking in the same exact manners is the same exact pattern of conduct. This is what I was speaking to in the dark while the entity was group stalking by helicopter, disrupting sleep, repeatedly disrupting sleep with the use of helicopter activity while all of the people of the state, these are hostile demons, and this is relevant to what is the psychological torment that a demon-possessed and corrupt entity, this matter of public corruption, which is going to be addressed. It's going to permeate the lives of the people of the state and those state actors, the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department, the Los Angeles Police Department, every threat that they pose in their personal lives. Understand, group stalking is speaking to the mental illness that you are suffering while you seek to torture another person for no legitimate purpose through your stalking conduct, which, by the way, being a stalker, being a government actor and being a stalker, using your job as a government actor and using it to engage in stalking someone and maliciously cover that up, that's very threatening to all of those who are within your influence, within your reach. And so that's why you will be removing minor children from those that are in any way under the threat. And by the way, their children are subject to what is a threat to their life, just like Tiffany Sherez is a threat to the children who she's both engaging in this criminal system with, and it also engaged in the contribution to their delinquency in concert with that corrupt law enforcement agency and the people of the state. Violent sex offenders keeping one person under surveillance while they are all of a very legally significant and secret condition, and it's not secret anymore. This demon possession is demonstrated through their behavior, and that demon possession is also exhibited in the demonic environment, which is entirely unnatural, and it is fully documented, and it is nothing that will ever be reasonably contended with that it's anything other than the unnatural environment. And I know this, and that's exactly why I documented it. And it's not just the environment, it is the environment. It's not just the light source. You're also understanding the light activity in and of itself. Speaking to, again, demon possession, the demon possessed that are in custody of minor children that are engaged in as a way of their lifestyle, stalking and tormenting and keeping under surveillance an innocent American citizen, sexually violating them in doing so, psychologically tormenting them in doing so, you are going to be removed in every way that you are posing a threat. You're going to be removed from any industry where you're posing a threat to the public, meaning demons driving school buses, engaging in the pattern of conduct, which I've documented. Demons driving public transportation, you have a lot of lives in your hands. You're going to be removed from that. Demons flying commercial airline planes while you're group stalking, you have a lot of lives in your hands. They're going to be removed from that. Demons in law enforcement, in the medical field, in the legal field, you have a lot of lives and the liberties that you are in control of. You're going to be removed from those. Any minor children within your custody are going to be removed. And you're understanding why, as I'm both revealing the pattern of conduct and then you're seeing the positions that the entity maintains while maliciously engaging in the system, such as a corrupt law enforcement agency who are obsessed with one person, myself. And this is in conformity to a pattern of conduct, not just Dominic Choi and the Los Angeles Police Department. Okay, they are acting in conformity to a long documented pattern of conduct well before I came to Los Angeles. And it is indeed a state system. And this federal prosecution, this exposure will permeate the personal lives of the these criminals, of this entity, in the same way that federal group stalking and monitoring, like I stated yesterday, as I have shown through the pattern of conduct, permeates the life of the targeted individual. It is both what justice requires. It is also with regard to something, the resolution, the answer, the solution, commensurate with what is the problem, the threat that's posed. It's public corruption. You're talking about every aspect of life. The entity is out in public, working out in public, exposed around children, around others, and this mental illness is that which is undiagnosed, it's unchecked, it's not acknowledged, and it is mental illness which is directly relevant to a condition which that condition seeks to be maintained silently, secretly, but it's not a secret when I'm showing you the criminal system. You can see it very clearly. And then when you see that very clearly, you are then able to see what is an obsession. You're able to see that obsession through that ongoing determination to continue to engage in that, which is clearly not to your It's not to your benefit. It's to the demise of literally everyone that's engaging in that conduct with you. It is to the demise of the entire state. And it is fully documented, okay? So I want you to pay attention to the pattern of conduct as you're witnessing it right now. This is a demon, and they will be prosecuted for federal group stalking and monitoring. This is called stalking in the path with the method of light activity. And that is what all of the entity is doing on an ongoing basis. They do so chiefly in the parking lots with their vehicles. That's the identification of a group stalker living in the path. This is where the entity has the sunrise over that apartment, that third-party facilitating venue. They are indeed engaged and already documented. While they're engaged in what is criminal facilitation, as I just documented it on video right now, it is the grounds on why everybody that you see on this hillside is going to be federally prosecuted. You're going to remove the minor children from the custody of that demon-possessed entity, and that is the entity that engaged in light activity in perfect alignment with me. That is the pattern of conduct. This is the same hillside where the entity has provided a wealth of documentation of that which is the specific environment, because there will never be a sunrise over this hillside as I am looking outside of my apartment at 1806 North Alvarado Street, apartment number 6 on the 3rd floor facing the east side. This is the same hillside covered in engineered light as that is also the evidence against this third-party group stalker providing light activity in perfect alignment with me, which is what demons do. They stalk in the path with light. This is also a violent sex offender. You know all of these facts based on the pattern of conduct. And it's not just that third party. That third party acts on behalf of an entity. You will be removing the minor children whose lives and their safety and their well-being are threatened by virtue of an entity that is, as a lifestyle, engaging in the pattern of conduct. Okay? I want to be clear. It is currently 7:30 in the morning. This is revealing what is necessary, what is the necessary response by the federal government. And it's not just going to be limited to removal from jobs and going to federal prison and getting a criminal record and be published on a list maintained by the Department of Justice, to be civilly and criminally prosecuted by third-party actors such as Waste Management Group stalking with that third party at that address. They're acting in concert. Where light activity moves across your building, your apartment, your house, your vehicle, that is both, you're understanding both. It's a system. And the entity is engaging in what is under criminal conduct, and that prosecution, that exposure is going to be commensurate with the threat and the harm that they inflict. And that's going to permeate the lives of the men and women of the Los Angeles Police Department, the men and women of the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department, the men and women of the Ontario Police Department, the Fontana Police Department, the Montclair and Chino Police Department, the Upland Police Department, the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department. Okay? The people of the state, you're going to literally trickle down. That federal prosecution is going to trickle down from the top all the way down. Nobody is exempt from the law, and nobody is going to escape justice. This is a crime of a whole community, and that whole community now has to be purified. Okay, it is, and I'm using that as a term of art. You're going to remove and neutralize all the threats that they pose, not only to the minor children, but to the public and to themselves, which they are revealing and demonstrating through their very criminal activity. And unfortunately, it includes the law, which again, the LAPD do not represent the law. These are criminals who are masquerading as though they have authority, and they don't. There's no courthouse, by the way, in Los Angeles County that has lawful authority. The state of California, LA County is a group stalker. That's exactly what's been demonstrated. I don't have to go anywhere else to any address to show that. The sunrise and the sunset is in alignment to my address as I remain at one place. All the entity does is keep light source and engineer light all around you. Stalking with light in the path, just like you saw. LA County is a group stalker. LA County represents the state of California. The state of California is monitoring American citizens. It's a group stalker. And that federal prosecution is going to trickle down into every aspect that is legally relevant with regard to neutralizing the threat that community, this is a large community, it's a state, that community poses to American citizens who have a right to not be subject to it. And all of that is relevant to what you just saw, stalking in a helicopter. Okay, 4:50 in the morning, as I document, I'm going to go ahead and capture more images of what is group stalking. And as I do so, the people of the state, all 59 units that live here, are going to federal prison. They're monitoring while the people of the state that are along the hillside and everybody in relevant position going around delivering packages to third-party group stalkers on the hillside, going around emptying trash, as you've seen waste management directly engaged in the criminal pattern of conduct, group stalking. They're doing so in concert with the people of the state that live at Alvarado Gardens. They're all going to federal prison for that intolerable level of facilitation, for that ceaseless engagement in the criminal pattern of conduct, for that perpetual sex offense. You cannot measure that harm in damages. Okay? That's why they're going to federal prison. It is currently 7:33 a.m. It is Wednesday, May 15th, 2024. I'm going to go ahead and mention on this video, it already goes without mentioning, but I'm going to be very thorough because I'm naming criminals specifically. That's a part of exposure, is bringing shame and shedding light and exposing everything. And so again, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, the demon-possessed third-party group stalker and criminal that's acting with impunity, going by the name of Universal Waste Systems Incorporated. Not only is that criminal, and that's exactly what they are. It's not a company that's exercising any constitutional rights. They are engaged in criminal conduct, and they call themselves a business. They are demon-possessed. They're puppets of Satan, engaging in and facilitating state surveillance, which is terrorism in the state of California and in the U.S. And they are arriving again this morning, engaging in what is sexual violence, engaging in terrorism, just like you saw exhibited with the light activity in perfect alignment with me. That's the ongoing pattern, what the entity is doing while engineered lights are arriving inside of my apartment, by the way, as though it's a sunrise, while the entity is keeping a light source in an entirely different region, which is not shared with any third-party facilitating venue on this hillside at any time of day, let alone while it remains over my apartment 7 hours later, from 6:45 in the morning, 7 hours later. That's how you get the light source over my head while I'm still outside of my front door at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, okay? That's the pattern of conduct. All right, and Universal Waste documented engaged in ongoing harassment. I want to be clear, the companies that I'm documenting, you're talking about what's going to be literally, I want all the names of the employees, and you can provide, no, I'm sorry, it's not going to be you will provide the information of those that were present at the grounds pursuant to whatever schedule. And let me be clear, when it gets that serious, they're going to have to make some hard decisions about who's going to admit to being at the target, but they're going to federal prison, period. Okay? And that's exactly what's going to happen. And then you're also going to permeate the personal lives. Any minor children, they will be removed, because that's not just a criminal that's acting with regard to that result and then that's the end of it. No, you are permeating the life of a targeted individual, and you're doing it as an entity. That threat posed by that entity is going to be neutralized. Okay? It is currently 7:36 a.m. and this is P.O.C.